Good morning, Bella Vista. I have with me today Tom Judson, the CEO of the POA, Property Owners Association. And we have a really important topic to talk to you about today. We're doing our best to get credible, factual information out about an upcoming assessment increase.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So why are we doing this now, Tom?
Well, we try and do it every 3 years, and we'd rather have regular, smaller increases as opposed to waiting a long period and having a large increase. Let's just have small ones. What we're asking for this time is a $5 increase for improved properties and a $1 increase for unimproved properties. We haven't had an increase in 3 years. So here are the critical issues: is if this assessment increase is approved by the membership, then we would keep all of our amenity usage fees the exact same for 3 more years. So if you play golf, you register a boat, you use the fitness centers, the pool, the beach, tennis, all those fees would stay the exact same for 3 more years. That would mean for a total of 9 years, between March 1st of 2020 all the way to February 28th of 2029, we would have the exact same amenity usage fees for that entire period. That's really very impressive.
It really is. Would you like us maybe to put up on the screen?
Yeah, so this information is all available on the POA's website, and I'm kind of just going to go through each page, and the front page, and you can download this and so forth.
Okay.
I talked about.
There we go. Got the first page.
The $5 increase for improved, and $1 increase for unimproved. The
Tom,
critical dates.
Why just 1%?
Why just $1? Let's save that question.
Okay.
Let me go through the whole thing.
And then ask you again.
And then barrage me with your questions.
I will.
All right? Don't hold back. Okay, so critical dates. The vote would begin June 23rd. It would end August 19th. So we've given ourselves about 2 months in there. And if approved by the membership, the increase would kick in on March 1st of 2026.
Gotcha.
Okay, so you'll have more than enough time to schedule your budget for the increase and make sure that you're ready for it. We're also going to have 3 informational meetings coming up. On June 2nd at 4 p.m. at BVRC, June 16th at 10 a.m. at Branchwood, and June 18th at 4 p.m. at Metfield. So we've tried to cover all 3 areas of our community, east side, west side, central, and we've given a morning one and 2 afternoon ones. So if you have questions and you want to come in, I'll stay as long as you want.
Absolutely. So why are we doing it a little early? Didn't you mention the fact that we're trying to get the assessment vote in before we set budget?
Yeah, we want to get all the information in before we do the budget. If you recall back in 2020, the vote overlapped the budget period, and so we ended up having to write 2 budgets. Writing 1 budget is enough of a hassle. We don't want to write 2.
Absolutely.
But moving into the brochure
next page.
On the left-hand side. So we talked about the amenity usage fees would not increase if the assessment increase is approved.
Yes.
If it's rejected, we will have amenity usage fee increase. So for those golfers out there who get an annual membership, it's currently costing them $1,600. It's going to go up to $1,750, so a $150 increase. If their spouse is also on the annual plan, their fee is going to go up by $100. Now we have a lot of golfers nowadays, a lot of members that the fees they do the pay as you play. So each time they come in, they pay $33. For those people, it's going to go from $33 to $40. For people that are hitting golf balls, buckets right now are included in your activity card. With your activity card, it will be $1.
Okay. And
all this is if it's not approved. For those boaters out there, the boat registration is going to go up by $75. Mooring is going to go up by $150. Activity card is going to go from $30 to $40, so that's a $10 increase. And for fitness, pools, and beach, with your activity card, it'll go from free to $1.
But like you said, none of that happens
Correct.
if the assessment vote goes through.
Correct.
Okay.
And then on the third page, or the right-hand side
Next
of the
page.
in cover,
Yep.
we give some examples, and these are pretty common examples. The one that's most common is for annual golf members, and then their spouse is on there. So you're going to have a $150 increase, a $100 increase. They're both getting activity cards, so there's a $20 increase, $10 each, and so that's a total increase of $270 over the year, and that compares to a $60 increase if they approve the $5 increase per 12 months. So, well, that's $60 compared to $270.
Yeah.
We also give an example for boaters and for fitness and pool users, and you can see in all instances it makes sense to approve the assessment increase that we're asking for. And then on the back page, we like to remind people of some of the projects that we've done over the last 3 years.
Boy, there's been a bunch.
We've done a bunch. So Tanier Creek is open. We're really, and boy,
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful, and people are using that at unprecedented levels. I mean, they're just really coming out of the woodwork to use them. The gun range is open also, and we're very proud of that. I've had multiple people tell me it's now one of the best gun ranges in the state, and it's ours. How cool is that?
It is. And it now has an archery.
And now has archery.
Yeah.
Also in 2023, we opened up BVRC and we had new fitness equipment. Kingsdale Clubhouse opened last year, and BV65, so very proud of that. We've added additional pickleball courts. We now have 4 fish production ponds, so we're growing a bunch of our own fish because the fish don't get in the lakes on their own.
No.
So, and then the Treehouse Park, we worked with the Trailblazers, and we now have a Treehouse Park, and that's behind Casey's off the main highway.
For those of you that still consider it Bluebird, it's the new name is Treehouse Park.
Yeah.
Hence the tree houses.
Yeah, and the kids are using that and having fun. And then Highlands. Now that project is currently underway, but we're redoing all the fairways to bring in zoysia and get away from the common Bermuda. And what I like to talk about on that one is we did some work last year, and we rented the equipment, the sod to sprig equipment.
Yes.
But in this case, we purchased the equipment. We purchased 2 pieces of equipment, cost the POA $70,000. And we did that because our intention is to do additional sod to sprig work in the future. We want to bring this to other golf courses because we know that common Bermuda, it's a weed. It's not very good. And we're very optimistic about the Myers zoysia. So that's just a reminder of some of the great projects that we've done over the last 3 years. Just the last 3 years. We've done a whole bunch over the last 8, 9 years.
Yes.
But we need to keep it going.
We do. We do.
know. And so people will ask me, well, why do we need the increase?
Yes. Why do we,
Okay,
Tom?
well, that's a valid question. When you go to the grocery store, is eggs more expensive? Are meat and chicken and everything's more expensive? Same thing for the POA.
Yeah.
But on a larger scale. So we're paying more for fertilizer. We're paying more for chemicals on the golf courses. For staffing. Staffing is a big issue. This is a very tight job market, and we have to compete against Walmart, and their starting wage is much higher than ours. We have to compete against all those things, and so our staffing costs more. So all those things combined, that's why we need it. And I also like to point out that during the last 3-year period, if you look at your Social Security, it has gone up by 14-15% over that 3-year period. This request is 12%. So we're asking for less than what the Social Security increases. So that, and Social Security is tied to cost of living.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely.
So that's how we're doing it.
Okay. All right. You ready?
Sure, fire away.
Okay. So I hear a lot of people say, okay, $5 for property, or for lot owners or people that live here, whatever you want to call them, versus $1. Why are we adding that $1 for people that just own, that don't live here but have a, what do you call a membership lot or what?
So we call it unimproved.
Unimproved,
So improved and
you're
improved.
right.
And the difference between those two is improved have a water meter.
Okay,
Okay, so it's a home.
it's a home.
So let's just, because we have townhomes, we have Concordia, but most of it is single-family homes. So just home, I'm just going to call it homes, versus unimproved. And so back in 2020, we had an increase for improved only, nothing for unimproved. For 2023, we had an increase for improved only, not for unimproved. And the board made the commitment at that time that the next time we go for a vote, which is now, we will have an increase for unimproved. Here's the biggest challenge,
Okay,
is that 86% of unimproved property owners that don't live here locally, 86% of them, they live out of state. They're investors. They live in California, they live in Florida, they live in Texas, wherever. They're investors. And so I've spoken with a lot of them, and I talk to them, and the conversation goes, with this increase, you're going to make sure that the POAs continues to be on great financial standing. You paid good money for your unimproved lot. You did it for an investment. You're part of our community, and we want to make sure that your investment continues to go up. And so that's part of it.
yes,
And the reality is, I lost them at the word increase.
I'm sure.
And even a dollar increase. So people have said, well, why $1? Why not 3? Why not 4? Why not 5? I agree. But getting an increase for unimproved property owners is going to be really challenging. So I agree 100% it should be higher. I agree that it should be more than $1. But I'm also a realist, and I got to say, what can we get them to go for?
Okay.
And that's why we went with $1.
Okay, so what about those people who would be required to pay this assessment increase who don't use the amenities? What do you say to them?
Well, you're not going easy on me. Hard questions here.
There are a lot of folks out there like that.
Absolutely. So there is no amenity that is used in the majority. So
Not even golf.
Not even golf. Golf's like 18, 20%.
Really?
So if you go down the line, tennis is probably 2 or 3%, and you go to fitness and fishing and everything. Nothing is in the majority. What is in the majority is that our population, our community is very active. Probably 60 to 70% of our property owners are active, whether they hike, bike, fish,
Go to
play
restaurants.
golf, go to restaurant, whatever, they're active. So we have a very active community. And that's part of what makes Bella Vista special and makes us vibrant and so forth. And that was the original plan. So if you go to the governing documents that were created in 1965, 30-page document, dry as a bone to read, second paragraph, it establishes that Bella Vista is an amenities-based community.
Yes.
So if you live here and you don't use the amenities, that's a choice that you've made. We have this wealth of amenities, and we hope that you use them.
Is it kind of equivalent to, I don't have any kids in school anymore, but I pay school taxes?
Yeah, most of your property taxes go to schools.
Yeah.
And it's going to help kids now, and maybe your kids are out of school by years or decades.
So it's not the same, but it's a little bit like that. I don't have any kids in school, so why should I pay that? Well, because.
Yeah, and I've had conversations with property owners that have said, I don't play golf. And I've
Exactly.
said, did you used to play golf? Well, yeah, 10 years ago I played golf 4 or 5 days a week.
Even better.
Well, so it's, and keep in mind that maybe you don't play golf, but maybe your neighbor does. Or maybe the person that's going to buy the home from you in however many years. And by them being interested in golf and them going to Tanyard Creek and going, this is the next place that I want to live because that's a wonderful facility, they're more apt to purchase your home, maybe willing to pay more because the property values have gone up. And so that's part of it is I like to always encourage people to think community. Maybe you don't play golf, maybe you don't fish, but you do this and they do that, and we're all happy together.
Absolutely. So a lot of people will say, well, wait a minute, Tom, you know, we have all these new people moving in. You don't need our money. You've got this money coming in from all these people.
Very valid. So let's even go further than that.
Okay.
Okay, so we did a report, and this was in last month's board meeting. The video is available on the POA's website. And we talk about non-performing lots.
You know what? Let's hold that thought for just a second. I got so excited that I forgot to take a break. So let's take a break and we'll be right back.
Experience the Macadoodle's difference. Shop leisurely in our friendly and spacious store 7 days a week. Browse our wine cellar. We offer the top labels and hot new wines. Wide aisles, hardwood floors, and easy-to-find, well-lit displays make shopping enjoyable. Customers are our #1 priority. If you can't find something, our courteous staff will assist you and we'll even help you to your car with your purchase. World-class customer service. Largest and best selection in the area. Low prices. Experience the Macadoodle's difference today.
So welcome back. That thought that you were just talking about has to do with the new people moving in. Let's get back on that again.
So let's go further. And at the last board meeting, we talked about this, and the video is available on our website. When I got here back in early 2016, the POA had 8,000 lots that were not paying their assessments. It's 20.6%. That's a huge number.
Yes.
Out of a total of 39,000 lots. Through ongoing continuous effort, we have lowered that down to 900 lots, from 8,000 down to 900. And that's an effort by legal, collections, by accounting, everybody working together on a sustained basis over 9 years to get that number down. What that means is now we're collecting more in assessments because all those people that weren't paying are now. And some of those lots have turned into homes, okay? Because most of the 8,000 were unimproved lots. So now they're paying, and some of them are in homes. So that brings in additional revenue. That is outstanding. And what that means is, if you do the math on that, instead of the board having to come to the membership and saying, hey, we need a $15 increase. No, because of the good job we've done, we only need $5. That's pretty good.
That's right. And the more people we have, the more amenities we need.
The more amenities. So the example I use is Metfield Fitness Center. Today, it's not meeting our membership's needs. It's not. It's too small. It needs to be much larger. The problem is that facility, the only way to make it larger is to add on to that facility. And building up that, making it larger, that's $800,000, $1 million, and I'm just shooting from the hip here. That's a lot of money. And so we have 10 pickleball courts. We need 20 today.
Yep.
And so you can extrapolate that off over all of our amenities. Our beach, it's too small. It needs to be double the size. Well, all that costs money. We need, and so those are the things that we need.
Yeah. So what you're kind of answering there would be one of my next questions. What are you using this money for?
Well, the commitment that we're making is the assessments will not, the amenity usage fees will not go up if the assessment increase is approved.
Right. We're
not going to make any additional commitments because it almost, we're going to do this project or that project, almost looks like we're trying to bribe them. What we're trying to focus on is let's keep our community active. Back in 2019, before the 2020 plan kicked in, before we redid this whole whole fee structure. Golf did about 110,000 rounds. 115, 110, something like that. We're now doing 100,000 rounds more. We did about 216 last year. Same can be said for pool usage, fitness center usage, boat registration. Everything is way up because our membership is active and they're using all the amenities.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's what we want them to do. I also like to always talk about is what's important about the POA is we provide a great value. You know, for $40, and we're proposing $45, we have a lot of people moving into our community, and they're coming from, you know, California and Texas and everything, and they're saying, $45?
For all that?
For all that? And an activity card is $30 a year? I'm used to paying $245 or $345. So we're very proud that we're able to provide a great value to our membership.
You know, and a lot of those people that were paying those big fees were only getting their yards mowed and maybe access to a swimming pool.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, my last community that I lived in North Carolina, we paid $80 a month. We had a really small pool that I used once or twice, a junky playground, and they kind of mowed here and there for almost twice as what we're paying here. So we provide a great value, and we're very proud of that.
So talk a little bit about the comparison, because they were kind of invented the same time we were. Hot Springs pays what? And for what?
So Hot Springs was created about 5 years after us by Cooper. And, you know, Hot Springs is the best comparison to us because we were both created by Cooper. There is a bunch of differences, so you got to take this comparison loosely. It's not 100% apples to apples, but it's pretty close. They pay, I think it's 110 or 120 a year, and we're proposing 45. So we, you know, our best comparison, our community that we're best compared to, we're doing really well.
Right. What are some of the other things that come up that you've encountered that people ask you when you're explaining this to them?
Well, the purpose of the POA, okay, so we subsidize our amenities. That's our purpose, okay? So, but a lot of people come from a for-profit background. Hey, you're there to make money.
No.
Well, our model is kind of city-ish. We're kind of, here's business, here's municipality, we're kind of right in the middle. So municipality, they're going to have a park, they're going to have to subsidize 100% of the cost of a park. Maybe they have a municipal golf course and they have to subsidize that. Okay, so we're kind of similar in that way. And so we subsidize golf about $2.5 million a year.
I don't think people realize that.
Yeah, we subsidize our lakes about $700,000 a year. Lakes don't, the fish don't get there on their own.
No.
We have to pay for lake rangers. We have a lakes ecology staff. Fitness centers, about $600,000. Restaurants, about $300,000. Trails, about $90,000. So that's what we do. And when people come to me and say, well, we need to make a profit on golf, great, I got to start closing golf courses. That's what I got to do. And that's not going to be fun. And if you close a golf course, you're probably going to get sued because of homes that are sitting on it. Or we could close a lake. I don't know how you do that. I don't know, drain it,
over it,
pull the plug.
Yeah, pull the plug. There you go.
I mean, so part of what we do is we provide all these amenities. If we didn't subsidize our golf courses, we wouldn't have 7. We'd have 2 or 3. If we didn't subsidize our lakes, we wouldn't have 7. We'd have, I don't know how many. We wouldn't have 4 restaurants. We wouldn't have 3 fitness facilities. We would only have 1 fitness facility.
Yes.
But by subsidizing, we're able to provide our membership with this wealth of amenities. There's no other community like us in the nation that charges what we, provides what we have, what we provide, and charges what we charge.
Absolutely. Okay, what else comes up? Because I know that you have had probably every question in the book. You know, what else might come up that we could help people understand even more?
Well, I really encourage everybody to come to the community meeting.
Absolutely. Let's go
three
over
of
those
them.
again. Let's go
So-
over when those are
so we
again.
got June 2nd, 4 p.m. at BVRC, June 16th, 10 a.m. at Branchwood, and June 18th, 4 p.m. at Metfield.
And you've done some beforehand, so there's...
Well, I'm trying to get in front of every golf group, church group, any kind of group. Trying to get the word out, trying to get, share the information, because it's valuable information. If you come to these meetings, hey, fair game. Ask any question you want. People that know me, I'm going to give you a direct and honest answer.
You may not like the answer.
You may not want the answer I give you, but I'm going to give you an answer.
Yes.
As my mom used to say, no is a complete sentence.
I love that.
Or at least when she was telling me no, it was a complete sentence.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give you an honest answer and come in and ask your questions. Address your concerns. Don't go on social media. My God, the amount of misinformation on social media is really unfortunate. Also, on our website, we have a Q&A section.
Yes.
And so what we try and do is add additional questions on there as they come up, and try and answer things honestly and address people's concerns.
Another thing that I admire about you, I don't know why you do it, but you do, and you're good at it, is you encourage people to come see you, to call you, to email you. You're really good about getting back to people.
I try and get back to everybody in a timely manner.
Yes.
Because I value their input. We may not agree, and that's okay. And get out and vote. So another question I have: what is required for this to go through? Okay.
There you go. We definitely need to talk about that.
So we'll probably have, of our 39,000 lots, we'll probably have about 38,000 that'll be in good standing.
Okay.
Mean eligible to vote. So of those, we have to get a quorum of at least 50%. Okay. So that's a big number.
It is.
And so last time in 2023, we crossed over the quorum threshold with 1 hour left. I was a little nervous. My bald spot may have gotten a little bit bigger. But we got over the quorum requirement. Now, last time we only had 35 days to vote. This time I was smarter and I added 3 weeks, so now we have 57 days to vote. So hopefully the quorum issue will hopefully not be a concern. On top of that, 51% of those who vote must all vote yes.
So if you get 50%, it doesn't go through. You have to have 51%.
Back in 2016, we got like 50.8%. We missed the vote by, I think it was like 32 or 34 votes. We were just right there. So you have to get a full 51%. So a lot of people are like, you mean 50 plus 1, which is usually how a majority works? Nope, we're at 51%.
And that's in our declarations. We have to go by it.
It's in our declarations, yeah. I wanted to hit the guy over the top of the head that wrote that 60 years ago, but oh well, what are you going to do?
So the other part of this that a lot of people do not understand is if it doesn't go through, we have another opportunity?
Yeah, so the most common thing that would happen is that we don't hit quorum.
Yes.
Okay, so if we don't hit quorum and we go back out right away within 90 days, according to our governing documents, the declaration, the quorum will drop to 25%.
Okay.
So the board will have to look at what the outcome is of the vote and determine what we're going to do.
Gotcha.
Get out and vote.
Please.
Please get out and vote. So every vote that we take costs $50,000.
Yeah.
It's expensive. We got to do it right. We got to, we no longer are in those days where we have volunteers counting. We'll get 20,000 votes this time. Can you imagine a group of volunteers counting 20,000?
No, and then all the naysayers, hey, count them again, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
So.
So.
All right, well, Tom, I know you've done this a million times, and you're going to do it a million more before it's over.
I have 2 more today.
Oh,
2 more
bless your
speeches today.
heart.
So,
Do you ever wonder, have I already said that?
yeah, I have.
Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
It's always a joy to talk with you. And folks, this is so important to you, to everyone, for you to get as much information as possible, understand what you're voting for before you just decide, oh, I don't want to do that. Please do your homework.
Make an informed decision.
That's a better way to say it. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And I'll see you next month for Let's Talk About It.